G'day, this is Captainoob and welcome back to Murmrgh's Lucky Dip, a video series where I choose a random 3-star weapon from Murmrgh and try to make it work. Statistically speaking, I am probably going to get something really bad, but fingers crossed. Okay, so looks like we've got another nothing prefix, but I'm not going to say no to exploding bullets, and the 50 DR while aiming is, I suppose, okay too. Alright, so at least we're on the right character. Okay, let's get to making this thing a little bit more usable. So what we'll probably do is chuck on the hardened receiver here. There's not a whole lot of reason not to do that, just for the best damage. You're not going to be maximizing crits on this thing because it's a very VATS AP heavy using weapon. So best damage, best receiver there. And for barrels, we'll probably just go for, I'm thinking maybe even stabilize, just to try to control the recoil a little bit here, knowing that we won't be able to use it too much in VATS, and we'll go forceful here just to make it a little bit more durable. And you know, I'd like to put aligned on, but that stock is just like, what is that? What am I even looking at here? So for the magazine, we could go for a drum here. I've never actually used a drum before, so I'm inclined to do that. Normally I'd go for perforating, but we won't get that much benefit out of it anyway, so maybe giving ourselves like 5 more bullets in a magazine will help our sustained DPS, and we could put a paint on it, but nah, I know where this thing is going, and I'd rather not have to strip the paint later. Alright, so now we've got this thing doing 69 giggity damage. Let's throw a build together. Obviously, we're going to keep on the perks that we need to have this thing modified, and also the weight reducing things. So obviously all of the commando things will come on. I'm going to just grab one rank of concentrated fire if I want to look at the status of limbs or anything, and that allows us a couple points for ground pounder, and then tank killer is there as well. Gonna go for a little bit of fireproof here because we, you know, don't want to explode ourselves. Inspirational is good for XP, not for damage. Tenderizer is what we'll do here. And for intelligence, we'll grab Demo Expert to get that multiplicative bonus on the explosive damage. And we could either go for Gunsmith to keep this thing around a little bit longer, or we could go to Nerd Rage if we happen to get down there. It might help in a pinch. Actually, I'm not planning to go all the way down there in terms of my health, but we'll just have to see how we go. So we'll definitely grab Adrenaline here. Covert Operative, not super useful. I'm thinking I go Dodgy, Action Girl, Escape Artist is a must anyway. And then maybe we want to go for something like maybe Marathoner, so we can use our AP instead of using it for VATS. We'll just use it for just tanking damage, and then we'll have Marathoner so we can sprint around with less of the AP penalty. We'll have to see how we go with that. We'll definitely grab Bloody Mess. We could possibly grab Class Freak because we're not going to be using VATS as much as usual. We could grab Mysterious Savior for there. Ricochet is a nice one too. Maybe Quick Hands to give ourselves a little bit of a reload bonus when we need to. And that allows us to have one in Tormentor. I think that'll be a decent enough build for this. It's something a little bit unusual, out of the ordinary. So in the spirit of trying new things, that's what we'll do. So we've gone from 69 to 110, which is objectively worse now that we're not doing 69 damage. But what can you do, eh? Also, I just realized that the damage may have been a little bit exaggerated by things like adrenal reactions. So we'll just kind of bring that down back to where it ought to be. And do I have any buffs? I've got Company Tea. Wow, how OP. That's probably cheating. And I also can eat this Halloween candy. That's probably good for your teeth, isn't it? Alright, so with that all gone, doing 90 damage now, which is like not a whole lot less, to be honest. It's fine. Okay, so if you are still interested in playing this game, this is the APC camp. Couple of things. This is the first time we see a tracked APC. The other ones we have, actually, it's not an APC, it's an infantry fighting vehicle because it's got guns all over it. Anyways, distinctions aside, it's actually got tracks, which is interesting, but this one in particular is actually not that great because, like, where's the stash box? We've got a Tinker's Workbench, which is pretty good, but I think I'd rather have the stash box. We've got the scrap box at least, so Fallout First players can just dump their scrap and move on. But seriously, I think we need better than this. They had even calls it an APC. That's not how it works, Bethesda. Okay, so here we are outside of the camp renaming facility, and every now and then you can actually make your Fallout 76 look good if the lighting's good. Basically, if you've got the sun basically directly facing you, not too high, you can potentially take some better screenshots that way. I think that's how all the people that actually are able to use the things properly do it. But anyways, so let's see. Stabilized and forceful. I feel like that recoil is controllable. Controllable enough that we might bother to actually go for headshots here. And that reload is definitely slow, so I'm glad we grabbed, we made use of the good old ground pounder because it's slow. And that's one of the drawbacks of having a drum. You get a higher mag capacity, but you got a slower reload, which I think is an interesting trade. It means that the drum is not like the best thing anymore. I mean, it's still pretty good, but you know, we're not getting a whole lot of extra bullet. Wait, we've got 45 now. That was weird. Maybe I didn't reload it before actually engaging, but yeah, 45 is pretty good. You know, it's a significant more amount than what you'd get. So that allows our sustained DPS to be increased fairly dramatically. That means we can sort of get a decent time to kill just at the cost of more bullets as we go along here. And look, the 10mm sub in and of itself is a pretty solid gun. We've got like a couple of decent things to it. We've got to remember to aim down sights to actually make this thing work. But yeah, so far so good. We'll just clear out the rest of these mutants, then we can move on because I think we get it with these mutants. We don't need to clear out West Tech for the upteenth time today. I'm thinking the recoil here is manageable. I had a 10mm sub the other day and it was like super uncontrollable at this range, so I don't know. You'd think maybe it's the drum adding the extra weight to the weapon that makes it slightly better on the recoil. It's not actually how it works. See, Bethesda don't know a lot about guns. They know a little bit, but nothing too great. Where are these dogs coming from? So every time we're taking damage, we're getting a little bit of extra adrenal reaction, unyielding, and blah, blah, blah. Can I trigger my own dodgy? No, that's interesting to have. Maybe it's because I'm not taking any damage, because dense and fireproof, you see. So I can go pretty much close quarters, point blank, and shoot stuff, and no issues here. I'm basically immune to explosions just because I've got a little bit of padding on the chest piece, I guess. Now, we could probably go and find the rad stags around the corner and make use out of this hunter's prefix. Someone said that it'd be much better served to be like on a third legendary effect rather than a prefix, and I could agree with that, but it'll be kind of like a dummy thing even if it is your third star legendary effect, because could you imagine you got a bloodied explosive handmade, right, and then your third effect does more damage to ghouls. I mean, that's actually kind of useful for something like Colossal Problem, though, isn't it? Also, I haven't healed yet, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Luckily for me, I can just sort of spray bullets. We've got a decent spread because Ground Pounder, very useful perk. I think I slept on it for a long time. Back when they nerfed, it took me a while to adapt because they did nerf Concentrated Fire a while back, and people were saying, do this, and wow, nice one. It was a bit careless. Joke's on you, Ghoul. I just got a free heal and I get to keep my stim packs so that I might sell them doing something good. Taking a whole lot of bullets, you know, we're getting a little bit of that one wasteland feel about this. Like, sometimes it's a little bit excessive. We don't need to hit these guys 10 times before they die, I don't think. And that's a little bit too much. Or maybe that is how the developers intended us to play this game, and I'm just used to crushing everything with legacies. Look, there's a reason why people run legacies, because their performance is so much above. I think we're good there. We can always sort of probe with bullets for damage numbers to figure out if things are around. So really, no problem. I don't know what the comment section thinks of this time to kill. Whether it's good or not. I'll let you decide because, well, it might just be the build doing a lot of things here. And it helps when the weapon isn't broken, especially when referring to yesterday's broadsider, which is gone back to being a colossal piece of shit. it's where its rightful place. It doesn't really belong in this game anyway. It was like a novelty weapon that you'd get from Fallout 4 out of doing a silly side mission. There you are, mate. Hoping for a Tormentor proc here. Nothing so far. No. Really not getting lucky here. And I think you roll it twice with explosive weapons, right? Might just break out VATS for this guy because that's a little bit too much. Now, I'm not going to get the crits every other shot because I haven't got critical savvy, but that is an option. And we can half get away with that because we do have a massive AP pool here at 435, even though we'll get through that pretty quickly, as you can tell, with the fire rate of this thing and how much it went down. But it's an option. I'll probably just, like, heal this damage off, I think. See, look at the lighting. I think Winter looks pretty good there. I don't generally play Winter during the daytime or late afternoon when it comes to making videos with her because, you know, the bonuses to stealth are a lot. Luckily for me, the crazy missile launcher chick can't do much because I've got a dense chest piece and fireproof, which negates all damage by explosives. Probably should have been a little bit more accurate there. That crazy laser gun guy, a little bit more dangerous. I was gonna say, where's the other bloke? I was sitting there shooting at that guy for bloody ages, and I was wondering what become of him. Nice taking cover behind nothing there, pal. And we might just VATS this guy just to guarantee the hits, I suppose. Never mind, don't need to. Now, we should have a couple of dogs around. We can just sort of shoot them like that. Now, I don't think you can get Tenderizer triggered on yourself if you do damage yourself. You can get hit markers on yourself, which is kind of funky, actually. It's interesting. But imagine if you got Tenderizer on yourself, you started taking more damage to everything. That'd be interesting. If it was like Suppressor and you had Suppressor activated and explode yourself, you're just doing 20% less damage. I wonder if that penalty is still multiplicative, because that's a very bad penalty to have. We'll just tap fire the crap out of this guy. Thus far, we managed to get pretty much an entire magazine on him with stealth active, so that's pretty good. We don't have any points of sneak. That's all agility, isn't it? Yep, sure is. All right, let's keep going. All right, more things for us to kill in terms of crabs. Now, crabs are not enemies. They go under the exterminate. I mean, they're not animals. They come under exterminators because, you know, they're not insects. So you have to say insects or insects and Murmrghs. You also know what else isn't an insect. The scorpions. They're not insects. They're arthropods. They're animals. The more you know. I just worked with them because they're bugs. If they had have said does X amount more damage to bugs, then that would make sense. And if you could use a weapon to eliminate in-game bugs, then that'd even be better. Imagine using an exterminator's weapon and the game doesn't crash on you. That'd be brilliant. Now that would be a real meta changer, that one. I think everyone would go for exterminator's explosive 10mm subs. Yeah, that sounds like a sick weapon. And yep, once again, staggered by sound waves that you can see through the air. Kind of a weird concept there. And again, it's like a guaranteed stagger. If they do it up nice and close, they will immediately follow up with a claw attack. Not fun, so keep your distance. Luckily, we can do that because we've got a weapon that is fairly reliable in that. Anyone seen the Murmrgh Queen? Nope, I reckon this will get her going though. Also, filter change is real right now. They went from pretty bright to dark in like 2 seconds. Alright, so we managed to keep stealth halfway through this kill, and we'll try to maintain it. Lol. Just don't pay too much attention to that health bar. I'm sure you didn't see anything wrong there. Also, we still in caution. Well, whatever that crab is gone, he can go and live there. Now, see, the sun is down. Now the lighting's gone really bad and ghastly. It's kind of weird. It helps when you put your Pip-Boy light on, though. Alright, now, time to actually kill some Scorch Beasts. Pretty sure these guys are weak to the Zealots prefix. I think the biggest threat, maybe, that you could possibly use Hunters to its full effect is maybe a Deathclaw. But even then, they're just not that dangerous. Gulpers, maybe? I'd say... Actually, Yaoguai, they're pretty dangerous. So yeah, maybe them, but they're not usually in the rotation. They might have been in the train yard, but they changed that to be guaranteed Snallygastes, which is kind of annoying. Alright, let's get nice and close, and we'll start doing 0 explosive damage to the Scorch Beast, because it's the game dumb, lol. Right, we're gonna get this height advantage, because I want to play XCOM again, lol. Alright, looks like we managed to get a few decent shots there. Managed to get him mutated, and... Yep, so against the Murmrgh Queen, and particularly Swan, we're able to kind of control that very one-on-one sort of fight, which I think helped us a little bit, and we're going to use all our AP for this. Yeah, Dodgy ain't synergizing with this badness in, that's rad shit I just equipped. That's good, I'll need that. I get the Blight again, that's not good. But yeah, these guys are just tanking up all of these bullets. And this is where the weapon will start to kind of fall apart, because unless you've got a really powerful prefix, or even a sub better than nothing prefix, for fuck's sake, see, I even got backed into the bunch of ghouls here, which I should probably leave because they're distracting all of the things. Just gonna pop a quick stim pack here. I should mention that it's pretty too late now, but I've got AP regen on all of my things. Is that... Quick Hands is proccing quite a lot now. Really dumping the magazine in here. We even got thing for killing creatures. That's from 3 Todd points for me. I like it when you aim down sights, that annoying thing goes away. I still wish you'd like piss off as soon as you press the aim down sights button. I don't need to know desperately when I've got my perfect bubble gum. So for whatever reason, we managed to kill that one a bit easier. The legendary one seemed to be fairly... Who's that cheeky bastard off to? For whatever reason, the legendary one took a lot more killing to actually die, so whatever that was worth. But anyways, Hunter's Explosive Steadfast, I think it is. 10 mil sub. I still stand by what I said. I reckon that the 10 mil sub is a pretty exceptional weapon. I don't mind it at all. It's got a couple of problems, but for the most part, it's got a fairly decent effectiveness. The problem is, though, it's just got this nothing prefix on it, so you could basically call this just an explosive 10 mil sub. That definitely helped, though, the damage resistance whilst aiming when we managed to utilize that. But now I've got to fill up on 10 mils again because I used too many of them using this inefficient weapon. Still not happy about these things, and increasing them from 30 to 50% additive is like nothing. No one's going to use these things even post-patch, but they need a massive overhaul or just remove from the game entirely. That'll make them valuable, though. Could you imagine this thing? It's a rare Hunter's Legacy 10 mil sub. Give me $100,000 for it, and it may be yours. Thank you very much for watching, guys.